On the morning of June 22nd, 2024, in Ghaziabad, India, near Loni-Bhopura Road, a man was sitting peacefully before heading to work, as he did every day. Suddenly his eyes caught sight of something unusual. At first he assumed it was just old trash, but when he got closer to confirm, he was completely shocked. Lying there was a body, without a head. The blood had dried, and traces of it had spread around the area. The eerie silence surrounding the scene made it even more unsettling. Overwhelmed, the man shakily took out his phone and called the police, informing the Tilamod police station about the incident. Taking the call seriously, the police quickly dispatched a team to the location, which was just about a kilometer away. As the police arrived, so did a crowd of onlookers. The ACP, SOG team, and dog squad immediately took control of the scene and began their investigation. However, there was no sign of the missing head or any clues that could lead the case in a new direction. This wasn't just an ordinary crime. It was a deep mystery, possibly connected to elements beyond the physical world. The shocking truth behind this case left everyone stunned. So, who was the mastermind behind this? What was the secret that took the police nearly 170 days to uncover? Some people say that we don't show real photos or videos. The first thing to understand is that we cannot display such real images or footage here. Moreover, in many cases, they are not even available. For highly sensitive cases, the information is often limited to a few articles and local news reports, making it difficult to obtain relevant visuals. I'm sure you all understand. Now, coming back to the case. Ghaziabad police had been puzzled by this mystery from the very beginning. Their first challenge was identifying the victim, as the upper part of the body was missing, making the process even more difficult. The police collected samples from the surrounding soil and other areas to aid the investigation. Their immediate priority was to establish the victim's identity as quickly as possible. They checked missing person reports in all nearby police stations, but no matching case was found. As part of their efforts, DNA samples were collected and sent to a forensic lab in Delhi. Additionally, the police began scanning CCTV footage from the vicinity of the crime scene. One particular recording showed a tempo, a small transport vehicle, stopping near the location for a few minutes on the night of the incident. This became the first solid lead in the case. Using this clue, the police expanded their investigation, reaching out to local residents and asking them to report any suspicious activity. To trace the tempo's owner, they conducted thorough inquiries and used surveillance techniques. After days of investigation, on June 25th, 2024, a tip-off suggested that the tempo might belong to a man named Munna. When the police questioned Munna, he revealed that on the night of June 21st, his tempo was taken by a person named Vikas, also known as Mota. Acting swiftly, the police detained Vikas for questioning. Under pressure and precise interrogation, he could not hold his lies for long. He finally confessed that the tempo had been used by Narendra, Dhananjay, Pawan, and Pankaj. Vikas had not only used the tempo, but had also helped dispose of the body, making him an accomplice. However, the other criminals were still far from being caught, and tracking them down was not an easy task. To locate the suspects, the police sought assistance from the Special Operations Group, SOG, and began analyzing their mobile records and call details. It was soon discovered that the accused were hiding in different areas across Delhi and Uttar Pradesh. Several police raids were conducted, but each time, the suspects managed to escape. After an intense 170-day-long investigation, on December 7th, 2024, all suspects were finally arrested from various locations. Narendra and Dhananjay were apprehended from Delhi's Kamla market, while Pawan and Pankaj were found hiding in an isolated area in Ghaziabad. During interrogation, each suspect admitted their role in the crime, revealing a shocking and chilling conspiracy. But what led to this gruesome act? The story that emerged was stranger and more terrifying than anyone could have imagined. Before we continue, I'd like to request everyone to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon. Also, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Now let's rewind to the beginning of this dark mystery. At Delhi's Guru Tegh Bahadur Hospital, where the rush of patients and the fast-paced movements of doctors never ceased, a man named Narendra lived an ordinary life. He worked as a lift operator, spending his days pressing buttons and managing the elevator, then returning home in the evening. His monthly salary was barely $10,000, which was not enough to meet his needs. Like many others, Narendra often wished for a change in his fate, longing for wealth and a better life. Then one day, something unusual happened. While operating the lift, he encountered two mysterious men. Their faces carried a cryptic smile. Their attire and words were different from the ordinary. These men were Pawan and Pankaj, tantrics, occult practitioners. Before stepping out of the elevator, they asked Narendra, "Brother, how much do you earn?" Narendra explained his financial struggles. The two men exchanged knowing smiles and then made him an offer that would change his life forever. "Do you want to become a millionaire?" they asked. "Just do a small task for us." Narendra was taken aback and hesitantly asked, "What kind of task?" The tantrics revealed their chilling request. They needed a human skeleton, specifically a clean and intact skull, similar to the ones used in occult rituals. In return, they promised him a staggering $50,000. Narendra's eyes lit up at the thought of escaping poverty. In that moment of greed, he failed to grasp the gravity of the crime he was about to commit. He quickly reached out to his friend Vikas, an rickshaw driver, who immediately agreed to help. Together they brought another accomplice into the plan, Dhananjay. And so, a sinister plot was set into motion. The three of them began searching for someone who wouldn't be missed, someone whose disappearance wouldn't raise alarms or lead to a missing person report. One day, their eyes fell on Raju Kumar, a street vendor in Ghaziabad who made a living selling fritters. Narendra and his associates started visiting Raju's stall, pretending to be friendly customers. Over a few days, they struck up casual conversations, joking and laughing with him to gain his trust. Slowly, the bond grew. One day, Narendra asked, "Brother, how much do you earn?" Raju hesitated before replying, "Just enough to get by." To Narendra, this was the perfect opportunity. Someone vulnerable, with little support, whom they could gradually manipulate. He began deepening their friendship, eventually inviting Raju for tea. During their conversations, Narendra tried to learn more about Raju's life. Raju revealed that after losing his parents, he had been living with his uncle. He had no big dreams or high expectations. He was simply going through life as it came. Hearing this, Narendra became even more determined. A few days later, he introduced Raju to his friends, Vikas and Dhananjay. To gain his trust further, they told him, "We want to help you with your work, but first, let's take you on a little trip to Delhi." By this time, Raju considered them good friends. Their bond had grown strong, and he saw them as well-wishers. They took Raju to expensive restaurants, bought him new clothes, and even treated him to his favorite coffee. It all felt like a dream to Raju. He thought his life was about to change for the better. Narendra and his associates carefully used this time to win Raju's trust completely. For 5 days, they pampered him, fulfilling his every small wish. But everything changed on the night of June 21st. That night, a deep silence loomed over the roads connecting Delhi and Ghaziabad. Around 11 p.m., Narendra, Vikas, and Ananjay took Raju to a secluded area near Loni-Bhopura Road in Ghaziabad. For days, they had kept him under the influence of alcohol and food, making sure he remained unaware of their true intentions. By the time they reached the location, Raju was heavily intoxicated, completely unaware of what was about to happen. As soon as they arrived, Narendra casually suggested, "Brother, let's rest here for a bit." Raju, exhausted and intoxicated, closed his eyes for a moment. That's when Narendra swiftly wrapped a scarf around his neck and pulled it tight with such force that within seconds, Raju's breath weakened. But the horror wasn't over yet. What happened next was something truly terrifying. The perpetrators had already prepared sharp tools, and they did exactly what is done to a sacrificial animal after it has been fed and cared for. Raju had been treated the same way. The scene was so gruesome that just thinking about it sends chills down the spine. Afterward, they placed the remains in a bucket and immediately took it to Pawan and Pankaj, the so-called tantrics, who had ordered Narendra to bring it. The price they had promised for this horrific act was a staggering $600,000. But what was the true motive behind this crime? At first, even I couldn't fully understand it. But upon deeper analysis, it became clear. Pawan and Pankaj were deeply trapped in blind faith and superstition. They believed that by obtaining this object, they could perform certain rituals and gain unlimited wealth. This greed led them to manipulate others, starting with Narendra, whom they met in the elevator. Narendra, lured by the promise of money, formed a team, and the chain of events led to this horrifying crime.